Hey, what's up guys? So I finally got my hands on the DJI Pocket 4 Pro, and this is the dual camera one, the one a lot of you have been waiting for. It's already out here in Asia and it'll be going worldwide soon. Now on paper, this camera sounds amazing. It's got a second zoom lens, the new D-Log2 and 17 stops of dynamic range. But is it actually as good as it looks? That's what I want to find out today. And by the way, this is not a sponsored review. I'm just sharing my honest opinion. If you want to buy the camera and support the channel, you'll find links below. Now let's get into it. What we find in the standard box of the DJI Pocket 4 Pro is this nice pouch with the camera and a few accessories like this small extension grip, the magnetic light that goes here behind the camera, charging cables, and a lanyard. The first thing I noticed when I picked it up was the bigger camera head, which makes the camera feel a bit heavier than the Pocket 4. This one's about 230 grams and still fits in my pocket. The number DJI is pushing hardest is 17 stops of dynamic range with the new D-Log2 profile. And to be fair, that would be a real step up. The standard Pocket 4 does 14 stops. What I can tell you from actually shooting with it is that it holds highlights and shadows better than any Pocket I've used. You can see it in this example. When I point it at a bright sky behind a subject, the lights and colors remain balanced. By the way, D-Log2 and all that dynamic range, it only really matters if you actually color grade your footage afterwards. If you're just posting straight to YouTube or Instagram without touching it, the normal color profile is going to look better straight out of camera. And before I get into the zoom lens, which is probably the main reason you're even looking at the Pro in the first place, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like the video and subscribe. It honestly helps the channel a lot. Thank you. Alright, the second lens. This is really what makes the Pro a Pro, and it's the one thing the standard Pocket 4 just can't do. So you get a 3x optical zoom, and that means a real proper zoom, no loss in quality. And in actual use, it's more useful than it sounds. I can stand back from something and still get a nice tight compressed shot. That flattering telephoto look you'd normally need a full camera and a lens for. For interviews, for B-roll, for filming someone without shoving a camera in their face, it's really nice to have. But you've got to be realistic about the limits here. The clean zoom, the optical one, that's the 3x. DJI pushes it further to 6x with what they call lossless zoom and digital zoom. But the more you go past that optical range, the softer it gets, like any digital zoom does. One thing that actually impressed me is the tracking. With Active Track, I can just lock onto myself or onto a subject and it holds even when I'm zoomed in, which is usually exactly where this kind of tracking falls apart. So I moved around, even ducked behind a tree while I was fully zoomed in, and it just kept me in frame the entire time. There's also this group framing mode that pulls back on its own when more people step into the shot, which is great if you film with other people around. And this is the stuff DJI's had years to get right. You can kind of feel that when you're using it. Alright, let's now do a little audio test. So I'm recording from the DJI Pocket 4 Pro right now, and I'm using the internal microphones. It's got 3 microphones, 2 on the sides and 1 on the back. So If I turn the camera around, you should be able to hear me better, I think. Let me know down in the comments how this sounds like. The audio is completely coming from the camera. Okay, now let's talk about the stuff I'm not as happy with, because a real review needs that too. So, first one, heat. On longer takes, especially in the heat out here in Asia, this camera does get warm. It hasn't shut down on me yet, but I've seen a few early users reporting overheating, so it's something I'm keeping an eye on, and I'll report back properly once I've really pushed it. Second one, the price. It should land at around $730 US in the US and 650 euros over in Europe. That's about 200 more than the standard Pocket 4. And for a lot of you, that gap on its own is going to make the decision right there. And then third, that bigger head I mentioned earlier, which feels a little less pocketable. Now, none of these are deal breakers by themselves, but they're worth knowing before you decide. Real quick on availability, because I know a lot of you watching are over in the US. So right now, this isn't sold under DJI's own name in the States because of the ban situation. And from what I've seen, it's gonna show up as a rebranded version called the Xtra Muse 2 Pro instead. Same camera, just a different badge on it. I've talked about the DJI ban in another video on the channel. Should you actually buy the Pocket 4 Pro? Here's how I'd think about it. If this is your first pocket camera and you want the most capable one that's going to last you for years, then yeah, the Pro makes a lot of sense. You're basically buying that zoom and that dynamic range now, so you're not sitting there wishing you had them later. But if you're already shooting on a Pocket 3 or the standard Pocket 4 and you're happy with the one lens, then honestly, I wouldn't rush. The standard Pocket 4 is still a fantastic camera, it's the better value, and already available from the links below. Now, if that telephoto cinematic look is the thing you keep coming back to and you actually grade your footage, then yeah, the Pocket 4 Pro is the best choice. The other camera in this conversation, of course, is the Insta360 Luna Ultra, and it's already available worldwide. I've compared the Luna Ultra with the Pocket 4 Pro in this video up here. Click to watch it.